Hello, everyone. Welcome to the protocol companion video for the Digital Citizenship in Gaming Culture esports module. We're going to go over a few important protocols that students will use to guide and lead their learning throughout the module. As we do that, we want to talk about the structure of the protocol and the reason behind the use of that particular protocol. Before we jump right into the protocols themselves, let's do a quick overview of the Digital Citizenship in Gaming Culture module. Lesson 1 allows students to think more deeply around their digital footprint. They're going to have a chance to dig into a protocol during this lesson, which we'll highlight very soon. But lessons 1 and 2 actually allow students to learn about their digital footprint, to reflect on their digital footprint, and to think about positive actions they can do to promote and preserve a positive digital footprint. As we get into lesson 3, we'll tackle the perplexing and challenging issue at times of online relationships and bullying and trolling that might exist in the esports space. During this lesson, there's also an important protocol that students will engage in, and we'll talk about that in just a moment as well. Lesson 4 gives students a chance to dig into news media and literacy, thinking about what those traits are and how they relate to the esports space. And finally, the all-important topic of privacy and security. Lesson 5 will address that and empower students with practical tips and strategies they can use to stay secure and private while they're online, especially when they're gaming. But let's go ahead with that big overview. Let's kind of dig into a few details. The first detail I want to dig into is really referencing lesson 1, which gives students a chance to, again, think about their digital footprint and how they enter into this online space. We have an activity during this lesson that has students interpreting some text. As you see on the screen in front of you, this is going to be a 20-minute protocol. But what we want students to be able to do during this time is to read an important article called Your Digital Footprint, what it is, and how you can manage it. And to discuss and unpack the learning from that article, we want to give students a structured protocol that they can use to unpack that learning. The one we're going to use for this one is called the Golden Line. The Golden Line protocol is a chance for students to not only dig into the text, but also to learn from each other as well. So you'll see in the Golden Line protocol, there are 5 minutes for students just to read independently. And really during this protocol, we want them to identify a sentence that speaks to them. This could be something that clarifies, extends their thinking, challenges their thinking, whatever that sentence may be. We want students to highlight that area, write it down, and consider this to be their golden line. Once they've done that, we want to transition over into the 10-minute feature that allows students in small teams of approximately 3 to 4 people share their golden lines and why they chose them. They're going to have a rationale behind their decision and how they landed on that golden line. So we want to give space for students to do that. And if there's a little bit of time left over, students might pick a golden line that was shared during the share out and expand a little bit further. So this protocol is here for students to read and discuss in a productive way. When we talk about protocols, we're really talking about these liberating structures that allow students to read and discuss, and to do so in a way that promotes equity and accountability with participation. And of course, this is a wonderful way for students to take on and lead their own learning. So we love the Golden Line protocol, and we'll hope that you use this to allow students to really reflect on an important piece, which is around our digital footprints. Let's move into another protocol. This protocol, of course, is around unpacking text and discussing key attributes from that text. But I want to talk about another protocol that we hope your students will find very useful as well. And this protocol comes to us in lesson 3, which does address that bullying and trolling situation that can arise. During this stage, during this lesson, there's going to be a number of different activities, but one of these activities is going to give students an opportunity to brainstorm solutions to a scenario. So students during this time will be in small groups of 3 to 4, and once they're seated in their teams, students can read the following scenario. This scenario will challenge students to use positive ideas and strategies to combat bullying and trolling in an esports and gaming situation. So that situation, that scenario is this. You are a member of the school esports team and have just started competing in a tournament against other schools. During the first match, one of your opponents starts sending abusive messages to your team in the game's chat. They're calling you names, making fun of your skills, and even threatening to report you to the game's moderators. At first, you and your teammates try to ignore the messages, but they keep coming, and it's starting to affect your performance in the game. So with that scenario, we want to give students an opportunity to unpack, to brainstorm, to identify some positive ways we can navigate that situation. And to do so, we have a protocol called RIP, SLAP, PASS. RIP, SLAP, PASS. This is a brainstorming protocol that allows students to, again, generate open-ended solutions to open-ended problems using a pretty basic but yet powerful approach. So RIP, SLAP, PASS. So what does that mean? So during this protocol, students will first have some think time. It's always important for students to have a little bit of internal thinking before they start generating as a group. So as you see on this protocol, the RIP, SLAP, PASS brainstorming protocol begins with some think time. Then we move into the RIP part of the RIP, SLAP, PASS protocol. So to begin this piece, students are kind of seated around a table with one stack of sticky notes placed in the center. Using ideas that were previously developed during the individual think time, students will start to generate ideas. And they'll do this by writing an idea on a sticky note. And then after they write their idea, the student will rip the sticky note from that stack. And then once they do that, we go to the slap piece, which allows students to, in a gently way, to slap gently that sticky note on the table. And then once they've done that, they're going to pass that stack of stickies to the next person. They, in turn, will write down an idea, whether it came from their journaling or it's a new idea that's emerging. They'll write that idea quickly on the sticky note. They'll rip it off the stack. They'll slap it in the center of the table. And of course, they'll pass it along to their neighbors. So in sort of a round robin format, students will have a chance to collect and identify a lot of different ideas. And once they've done that, they'll have a chance to organize and cluster their sticky notes into similar ideas. They'll start to maybe notice some trends in some of their ideas. And then eventually they're going to prioritize. They're going to really bring the most high potential ideas to carry forward. And so this RIP, SLAP, PASS protocol gives students a structured way to identify lots of good ideas to address any open-ended challenge. And bullying and trolling can be one of those open-ended challenges that gamers have to navigate. So having this protocol in place will allow equity and voice. It'll allow a large number of ideas to be generated in a small amount of time. And it gives students a chance to really lean on the collective wisdom of one another. So we'll hope you use this protocol as you lead students through lesson number 3 in this module. So thanks again for your time. Again, the 2 protocols we want to highlight here are the Golden Line and the RIP, SLAP, PASS protocols. We hope you enjoy them, and we hope they allow your students to lead their own learning during this module.